Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well this Sunday fun day. Woo-hoo-hoo. Sunday fun day. Here it is, almost noon, and we're going to check in and see what Spirit has for us this morning. Got some curiosities out there. Seems like folks are confused about who you actually are. Can't quite figure you out. Spirit, what is it that the collective needs to know this morning, please, and thank you. Judgment. So a rebirth, a reckoning. Whoo. Challenged by. Wheel of Fortune. There you go. In the subconscious. There is disappointment in walking away. So somebody's being judged and they're having to walk away from this good luck karmic cycle. In the recent past, we've got the Sun. Intentions and expectations. Whoa. Difficult decisions. Somebody's exhausted and burned out. In the near future. We've got the Hierophant. The lens is being looked through. Is the world reversed? No closure for somebody in the environment. Got the Knight of Wands. Somebody coming in passionately, impulsively. Hopes and fears. Is an opportunity. And the outcome. Something's going to be happening very swiftly. Ooh, endings. Very strong endings. Personality. For the actors, judgment is being called on the actors. Those who pretend to be this or that. They're challenged by this Wheel of Fortune. They're challenged by somebody in the limelight, calling judgment on them. They're disappointed, having to walk away. They have to walk away from this peaceful person. They have to leave this person alone. This sun is on the throne. There's difficult decisions being made by somebody who's burnt out and exhausted. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. The Hierophant's here. And he does not have a limited perception. He sees all. There is incompletion and no closure for this personality. Who is a wise guy. Knight of Wands is coming in, being impulsive and fearless. Somebody's coming in with their wand with a lot of passionate energy, and they're not here to be of service, or they're not a person of service. Their intention, their expectation, their hope and fear is to have an opportunity with you to make progress. And very quickly we have here an Eight of Wands in the upright. So a quick decision is going to be made about a disconnect of some ancestry. Strong endings. The privilege that this snake was expecting. Here and now, this chicken who taught people this witch is getting a visitation or making a visitation. To this tribe who has, there's a new promise made, forgiveness and faith. To this tribe who self-cares. Yeah, and this player and their kin. This player and their kin have been fooling around with sovereign beings. They're vain. They've been puppeting people and martyring people. Working to what? Do something to their body, get a body. It's been entertainment to come against these creators. They thought it was quite fun and perfect to steal the father figure from the household. For these innocent people who had a purpose. And these ones played with their minds, with their conscientious, with their consciousness. The consciousness of these creators. Yeah, there's a backstory here. Because they wanted their road. They wanted the pathway of the arcana. And so they did their very best to bury the arcana and slander them and make them look like they were trash. but they behaved very trashy. And then they magically put that energy onto these arcana. And then they tried to tell this Hierophant that that's who they were. Well, sorry, the Hierophant doesn't have a limited perspective. He can see clearly. Marriage. It came out like that, so it's upside down. This personality doesn't get the marriage, and there's judgment being called on this person. They're challenged by this person that's in the limelight and this good luck karmic wheel. Oh. Well, there's another one here. They didn't get the marriage and they didn't get the pathway. Or they didn't get on the marriage. They didn't get on the pathway of this married couple. They were hoping to. Judgment is being called. Yeah, they're challenged because this person that's in the limelight is high honor. And they're on a good luck karmic cycle. They have to walk away from this person who is a peaceful person. She's peaceful. They've been playing hard with her. And they're under adjudication. The sun is on the spiritual throne. All is well. Lots of happiness and vitality. There's a mature man here. There's a mature man here who is making difficult decisions because they're exhausted. They've been coming up against this sun and this spiritual throne, and they're exhausted. And it's time to come home. For this sunny character. Yeah, they can't affect the change. They couldn't affect the change. This mature man couldn't affect the change. The Hierophant is here. He does not have a limited perception. He can see things very clearly. He's bringing an ending to things. Or he's bringing an ending to limited perception. This wise guy does not get the world. It's a world reversed. So this wise guy gets an incompletion. He might be a wealthy man. The Knight of Wands is going to rush in fearlessly. He's got his wand and he's like, I'm a knight, but he's not a person of service. He has an expectation. Or maybe you're expecting. Yeah, this person doesn't want to be seen as a false person. They want to be seen as an academic, as a scholar. So they need to come in and get with you because they're not a person of service. They need your status. Okay. And the outcome here. We got a swift disconnect for a whole ancestry. Something about a family room. Family, whole family of ancestors going to be, who had been experiencing privilege. Wow. So there's going to be a strong death to those who had privilege. The snake who had privilege. Whoa. And they're facing imprisonment for what they did to these lovers. This mature woman might be getting a message right now that she's going to be facing poverty for the work that she's been doing because she stole from this privileged lady. She stole the courtship from this privileged lady. And they've been siphoning her spiritual inheritance. So yeah, and her child and her gift. They're in despair. This official person is in despair over this sudden wealth and unexpected income that's going to the main male. Okay, they're in the courthouse right now, and there's going to be a journey on the distant horizons. Wish come true. Somebody's in bad health. Yeah, they're getting a message of concern. The work that they did in this house has them very concerned. This whole community is very concerned. Whatever work they were doing while occupying this house is going to get them imprisoned. They say keep your own house in order. Some people have a different idea of what order means. So that personality is under judgment for coming against this marriage. They weren't able to stop the marriage. They weren't able to get on the pathway of this marriage. They're under judgment. We're upside down. They're just an actor. They're not the real deal. They're just an actor, a pretender. They might think this is funny. They've failed. They thought it was funny trying to flip this marriage. They were having a great time messing around with this high honor person who's supposed to be in the limelight. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it, but it's in the reverse. So grief, they're challenged because you're not in grief, that you didn't lose something. They're challenged because you're seen as a high honor person who deserves a limelight position. You're on the good luck karmic cycle. You didn't lose anything, and they're challenged by this. They're disappointed. They're under adjudication. They have to walk away from this woman who is of peace. Talk about abuse, man. Yeah, these ones, they don't have any purpose. There's no purpose except to hurt people. That's their only purpose. And this person of peace, you know, even though there was doubt, they released the need to know all the answers. They're like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just gonna pray, and I'm just gonna trust, right, in the Most High, and this is gonna be working itself out, right? I mean, that's what faith is. That's what the spiritual throne is all about. It's like, that's what relationship with the Most High God is. It's like, you know, you got to give it over and say, I don't know what to do with this garbage. I don't know what to do with this trash. This mature man may have been a friend of yours, and he tried to F you up and steal your throne, but he wasn't able to make a change. Yeah, he failed. And it's time to go home. It's time. These are women on this card, and it's like, it's time for the shining ones, you know, the succor givers, the nurturers, the ones who pour love and healing into the world, right? It's time for them to go home. And I think what's been going on is they've been burying these bright, shiny feminines. And I think, you know, some of the masculines too, because they carry this beautiful freaking powerhouse full of solar plex light, you know, too. And they emit that into the world. So it's time for those shining ones to come home. And these ones tried to bury them hard in misery and trauma and despair and poverty. And then they layered them in filthy actions, like, and then laid it energetically on top of these people. And it wasn't even them. They just took their energy and then they did atrocious deeds and then laid that deed on the person. And it wasn't even them doing it. And the Hierophant's here, and he sees that very clearly. He doesn't have a limited perception. He's bringing an end to this. There's going to be an end to this. He's bringing a change, and this is going to be stopped. These limited perceptions, these short-sighted viewings, these horrible deeds, it's going to be stopped. This wise guy is a wealthy man, but he's suffering an incompletion. He didn't get what he wanted. I can release the need to control. He's refusing to release his need to control. So he, as a Knight of Wands with high energy and passion, he's coming in. He's not a person of service, or perhaps he doesn't want to be of service to this woman. He's coming in passionately, high energy, very impulsive and fearless. And you just don't know what to expect of him. He's got high passionate energy. He's got his wand. He's not here to be of service, okay? And he blames you. He's having a hard time. Because he's experiencing a death, or he wants to come in and bring a death to this woman, but she's expecting it. I don't know, man. This looks like it could be a dangerous situation, because this wise guy, he's refusing to surrender to this Hierophant, and he's coming in towards this female, and it looks like he wants to flip her into a person of no service. And there's a death card here. He doesn't want to be seen as a false person. He doesn't want the world to see him as a false person. So he wants to stop whatever this Hierophant's plans are. Yeah. Denial is upside down. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. He's in denial. He doesn't want to be aware of anything. He doesn't want anything to change. He doesn't want to be seen as a false person. He wants to be seen as an academic. As a wisdom keeper, you know, that's what he wants to be seen as. Very quickly, though, there's going to be a disconnect for this ancestry who was doing things in a family room. They're guilty. They use the creativeness of their minds to do harm. And they trusted that what they were doing was going to work. They trusted that the creative ways that they were coming up to hurt people was going to work, and that they were going to get this trip home, while the shining ones were going to get, death and destruction. So patience, have patience. Everything happens in divine order. Growth, expand your consciousness and awareness. These ones are worried about those people who are of service. They want forgiveness. They're concerned about their health. You are love. You know that your love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things and success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. And this is why you're coming into abundance, because you're disciplined with your happiness. You're like, no matter how crappy life is, I'm going to be happy, right? I'm going to persevere through fear. Right? And this one, relationships, I'm attracted to the people who serve my higher good. And you may not have had anybody around you, you know, because you may have been secluded and stuff, but you found out that the relationship that is for your highest good resides within you. And even when you're alone, when you pray diligently, even in solitude, even if you're a hermit and you're all by yourself all the damn time, but you're praying, right? And you've got this relationship with spirit and with the Most High God, and it's fulfilling. It doesn't need to be any more than that, you know. This world gets so crazy with its activities that it forgets to just sit still and be with spirit, because that actually is the larger side of life, you know. And I really feel that it's a shame that many of us have we were kept from it, you know, uninformed. I mean, like, I've shared my story here. I was raised in the woods 12 miles from the nearest town, and my friend was a dog. I didn't have anybody. So I developed a relationship with life itself, and it became very intimate. And so I think a lot of people did that. And now that it's time to see people for who they are, you know, the Hierophant can see that intimate connection with life, you know, even in those who are in poverty and perhaps suffering. You see the homeless man on the street, you know, with nothing, and he's in a terrible state, but he's got his dog, and he has a tremendous amount of love there present. So you just can't tell from outward appearances who's got that shining love light going on, you know. You just can't. And it's unfortunate that people, you know, see and they can't see. So anyhow, if you move too fast in life, you won't be able to have compassion for yourself or others. If you move too fast, you won't have the time to generate compassionate and empathetic views. That's just my own personal testimony. And I used to run very, very fast. Operate, like, my body, my energy, it was like so very, very fast. Like, I would say something, and before I could even finish saying it, another thought would come in, and it would fight to be said. And it was just like this crazy thing. I was processing so quickly, it couldn't get out fast enough. And I know a lot of the youth operate like this, and I know that in that state of mind, it's really difficult to have compassion for anybody else because you're so focused on what's happening in your chaotic world, right? It's just this craziness. So, readiness, preparation, prompt, arrangement. Judgment is here. Making arrangements for this personality who came against this partnership and their pathway. You didn't lose anything. They weren't able to bully you. Or maybe they can no longer bully you. And this is a challenge. You're seen as a person of high honor. They're disappointed and under adjudication. They don't have a purpose, or they didn't live up to their purpose. They have to walk away from this peaceful person who doesn't need to know all the answers. She leaves it up to God. She's like, hey, God, you know, will you take care of this man? Because I don't know what to do. He's like, sure, daughter. Let me check it out. So this mature man may have been your friend, and he may have been wearing many masks. Like, he may have actually influenced many of your friends somehow. But you're sitting here as the sun on your spiritual throne. They failed to change your pathway, and they're exhausted. They're bound to their commitments, and you're coming into unconditional love. You're a sweetheart. It's time for you to go home. Whoa, that one popped right out of there, didn't it? Yep, the Hierophant's here, bestowing blessings. He's fulfilling whatever this is, and bringing enlightenment to the situation, delivering blessings, and also some things that may not be seen as such blessings. I don't know, by some people. There's a wise guy here who's refusing to surrender. He's has an incompletion. He could be a wealthy man. He may not be mentally disturbed, or he's trying to avoid a mental disturbance, or he wants to offload a mental disturbance onto this woman who is of service. He wants to come in and flip her, bring a death or an ending. She's expecting it. Or he's expecting to bring a death. He's expecting to come in and change that. Maybe he thinks that she's not going to be able to protest, or maybe his protest isn't going to be working. There's a triumph here, so it could be that you triumph over this. You triumph over this natural disaster. There you go. You triumph over this natural disaster, and you're having sweet dreams regarding these rituals, whatever. And this person's going to be homeless and in a nightmare for coming against you, because they're not of service. They're an a-hole. They want to hurt you. So they're making preparations to come overseas, or to have an overseas opportunity. So they're on their way. They're coming passionately. They're on their way. They could be somewhere else. So they're traveling. They don't want to be seen as a false person. They want to be seen as a scholar. They're like, no, this isn't going to happen. So out of pride, they want to come forward and make lonely this eternal love. This is what they want to do. So they want to make lonely this eternal love, and they want to come in and bring a death to this woman. They're doing it through rituals, and it looks like they're actually going to travel and try to get there in the physical to do something. But they can't bring a death to this family. Ha! Take that. You're A-okay. And now they're in conflict because there's evidence of what they've been doing. They've been bribing people to try to beat this schedule and rob you of your gift. But you just self-loved. You just loved yourself, man. And they went through all kinds of coaching and stuff, and there's going to be justice served on this. Okay, you're getting aid from your alliances. And they're blind. They're blind, and they're going to be suffering some losses. Or they're going to be made blind and suffer some losses. And your friends, they're going to reach their goals. Okay? These people are going to be ill. Everybody who collaborated against this family is going to be ill. You're coming into your promise. And I'm just going to leave that there because I think that's a good place to leave it. I'll see you on the next one, guys.